What's up, fellas? Welcome to the garage. So we started piecing apart the first Escort. Check this one out. You cannot argue that this one is solely for parts purposes. This is officially the most rusted out car I've ever bought so far. Or ever brought into the garage here. Check this out. The whole bottom here is missing. See? This is actually non-existent. And actually the whole thing that is holding this car still in one piece is the roof and what's left of the tunnel here. So anyways, this is my first time really dealing with Mk1 Escort, and I'm just kind of getting to know it, like logic behind building this thing and the types of nuts and bolts. And I have to say that I was actually pleasantly surprised just how easily it was to put apart. Firstly, because it is everything very simply laid down, but also the threads on the bolts, you know, even the bolts in the bottom, like these two here that were holding the seat belts, were actually in pretty decent condition, and I haven't broken a single one. They all just came out, you know, in one piece. Also, it never ceases to amaze me just how well these chrome parts are holding up. You know, this car was standing in some garden, let's say, on the grass for, let's say, 20-30 years. And yeah, some parts are really in perfect condition, actually. See? This could do with a wash and a polish, but other than that, bulletproof. The plan for this car, obviously, is just to put it in parts, obviously keeping all the useful bits, and then just getting rid of everything else. About the engine, I'm not really sure, I haven't really gotten to know them, but this is one of two things, whether it is 1.1 liter or 1.3 liter. I doubt that any of these I bought here are 1.6 liter or bigger. But never mind, we'll find some proper good engines for the Escorts we'll be sorting out. The doors I will be keeping just for now. They are in half decent condition, let's say, and maybe somebody will use them. The trunk door is also in, let's say, decent condition, and I will be just storing it for the time being. Then all what's left here is I will pull the rear axle off, and of course the prop shaft down there, which I might use in some other builds, you know, I'm not really sure. I will keep all of this as a spare. Obviously I haven't yet figured it out, but some parts are said to be interchangeable between Mk1 and Mk2 Escort, even to an extent that some parts of the body are actually the same or interchangeable. So we'll be figuring that out as we go as well. Then I have to remove all these little lights here, which might come in handy at some point. And also with the car I got a couple of those lights, 4 of them actually. Another interesting thing about this one is that it actually has this 6-gauge clocks, so this looks kind of cool. And that's it roughly. Carrying on with the disassembly. Also the dog got a new bed here, which he's very fond of.
What's up, fellas? Welcome to the garage. I'm repairing some rust here. Haha, just kidding. I'm carrying on with piecing this Escort apart. Escort Mark 1, of course. As you can see, the engine and the gearbox combo is out, as well as the brake system and yeah, whatnot, everything else. Almost everything else. I still have to remove these brake lines and this fuel line here, and also the whole rear axle. Here I removed the front wings, which might or might not be salvageable of use, you know. Haven't figured out that yet, but I will save them for now. I can still throw them away at any point, right? And something similar with this front panel. In the bottom half it is rusted out completely, but the upper side might be of use to someone. It pretty much all depends on how expensive new copies of these are. Anyways, as you can see, the both fenders are off. This is how it looks like here. You could say this is kind of sketchy, but it's actually holding fine for quite some time now. This corner here presented, let's say, a kind of a difficulty, because there's really not much of the car left in this corner. But as you can see, the whole thing is quite solid now. Of course, I removed everything here behind the dash and also the whole interior. An interesting thing about these cars is that the dash panel is actually structural. Well, it's actually divided in two parts. One is this kind of a soft material, and this part here, you can see this one is attached to this one, is actually structural and is actually welded onto the chassis here, around and around, here and here on the sides. So I went ahead and drilled all the welds out, and this should actually come out now. If you give it a little good old wiggle. I don't want to drop it. Hold on a second. All right. Here we go. So here's our dash panel. It is cracked on multiple places, but this can be refurbished. So I'm just gonna put this away for now and just continue on with the disassembly here, whatever is left of the car. Here you can see how in the past the rusty cars were being repaired. You just took whatever you got laying around and just kind of patched it together, you know, so it was structurally sound, whatever that means. You can see that this is actually a piece of shock absorber, you know, the upper rubber here, you know, the bearing in a sense. And actually here you can see these are missing the upper part. This is because this is actually been welded on here and exactly the same on this side, as you can see. So I might cut these away or maybe not, I'll see. But these upper parts, this part here and also the roof, I will cut away and store just for now, you know. Someone might use it, who knows? I'm not really sure, but still, I just don't want to throw everything good away. Not solely because of the monetary investment, but I'd really hate to see throwing a piece of history away, you know? Especially if it could come useful to someone restoring a car like this or something. In other words, I'm trying to treat these cars like the Indians treated the buffalo. Oh, and another thing, I just recently came to a realization that these cars, meaning Mark 1 Escorts, have actually imperial treads. So that's why my wrenches didn't fit perfectly on all the bolts and nuts. However, pretty much all nuts and bolts were actually reasonably easy to work with, so I got away with my metric wrench set. Another thing that kind of impressed me was the electrical system. Check it out. Everything here is modular in a sense. You can put it together, and actually you could put it together in a not necessarily wrong, but in different way. What I mean here is that you got these bulky terminals and you got actually connectors. This is a fuse box actually, and this one comes fitted behind the engine on the firewall. and you actually have these big connectors which you just plug onto these big pins here. Also, the other connections are quite solid, you know, quite big and quite sturdy. See, this one also, if I'm not mistaken, comes fitted through the firewall and also fitted on the firewall. Oh, here, this one actually comes fitted into the firewall, and on the other side, just, you know, plugged into. You get this plug, of course. Usually this stuff nowadays you see on race cars, and yeah, I was quite amazed by these features. Also here you can see these connectors are very large, so kind of very strong wiring here. Actually also the wires are in pretty decent condition, so with a bit freshening up I would be perfectly fine with using these again. Alright, so now I'm going to... Okay, I have this cable here to remove. This is for opening up the bonnet. And then I think I will get to cutting. Then, of course, I will store the useful bits, and everything else that is left I will just put together and yeah, just get them to scrapyard someday. Wanna see what's hiding under this repair patch here? Hint, not much. Alright, so let's try and get this nut loose here. Alright.